talk. We kind of stalled because we were going to let you miss out on this segment. Big
How you gonna let Miami? How you gonna let Miami? You were the last guard for the state, and you let Miami go up there and whoop on you.
I'll
The
tell
exact
you,
same way I told you that they were gonna whip on you. You couldn't
just
stop.
like the other
you
five,
couldn't stop
just
Tony.
like the other 4 games too. You tell me,
Yeah,
those two?
Cody, this is like Diego grabbing his sack. Like, what are you doing, bro?
What are you
Bro,
doing?
he's texting
I
us
couldn't stop him.
He's texting me on Saturday night trying to talk smack because he got the score prediction. He didn't even get it right. He was wrong about that too.
Close.
I was like, Cody, you were
Close.
0 for 4 on the day, bro. Like you missed. Like you can't even imagine.
I got
this
the
was
most important one.
This was the one game that was actually Miami was favored, and you got like that was it. Not impressed.
I told you exactly how it was going to go down.
Just like you told me about the other games were going to go down. Anyways, I'll go ahead and I'll get started. I honestly thought that this was going to be a really close game. I really did. I was impressed with Miami. I was not impressed with how we did things. I mean, you can't, once again, when you turn the ball over, you're going to lose a game. And the fumbles, you got to fix them. And then you take an unnecessary deep ball down to Squirrel White in the end zone, and they pick that off too. You can't turn the ball over in this league. You can't turn the ball over nowadays in college football and win in games like this. Like, but you could get away with it in the past or something if like you were a better football team. But now it's so like the nil has made it so much more close that the nil's made it so much more.
Jesus, don't do that.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, it just the nil's made everybody so good in football that like it's so technical and like all these teams can beat each other and like somebody said, the days of going undefeated in college football do not exist anymore.
I said it.
That is just not going to be a thing. You said it. I mean, just multiple.
Well, Miami right now.
People said it. I get Miami's got a chance to. I just don't think that like. That is, I just don't think it is. I think there's going to be a game where they just don't show up. We couldn't cover the receivers. Like Malachi Tony was just, he was abusing our corner. Like there was a play where he just didn't. Our corner didn't even move. He was in just total shock when he just put him in a blender. I mean, just put him in a blender. He didn't even move. They had better athletes than we had, and that's just the stone cold fact of it.
Yeah, I picked obviously FSU. And the way the game kind of closed is how I thought the game would go. I thought they'd be able to keep up offensively. Every team has red flags. It's the teams that are able to contain those red flags and overcome them with their green flags are the ones that are able to win. FSU red flag for me right now is Thomas Castellano. And very big on hero ball. And when things are going his way, the guy's unstoppable. When he just feels like he can be him, he's really, really good. I think there's a reason why Boston College let him go because when the pressure cooker gets hot, we see these mistakes. He tries to almost do too much because that's where that cockiness kind of bites him in the butt a little bit. Miami. I'm still on I'm still the same beat the same drum. Carson Beck is going to be a liability. I'm going to die on that hill until he gives me reasons to not believe that. I think a team will challenge them, and that's where Miami is going to find themselves in some struggle is when he is being more pressured. Then again, Saturday night, never found himself in a pressure situation. The kid can ball. Like, I'm not being negative here. Miami is a good football team. Mario has shown also very Billy-esque, like where they like to kind of give things away. That those are things that I'm still looking for in Miami. They will be tested for quite some time. But I'm genuinely, if I'm FSU, your schedule isn't a complete kind of like scary, but these are things that when you have a full-made transfer portal team, does it fall apart? Do you start to get a little worried? Because now the season's kind of like, all right, well, you don't control your own destiny anymore because of your schedule. This is where having a cake schedule kind of kills you guys. 2 losses. Florida has if Florida wins out and FSU wins out, which either one can't win, but Florida's more likely to get in with 3 losses than FSU with 2.
I would agree with that statement because, like you said, you're gonna have more quality wins than what Florida State's going to end up with.
Yeah.
Obviously Florida State can't lose another game, and like you said, they don't control their own destiny. They do have a favorable schedule moving forward, but at the end of the day, like there's going to be some tough. And when you go on the road in college football, it's hard. I don't care what anybody
played at home.
says. I know. I'm just saying, like,
it was that bad. You guys thought it was a Miami State.
I'm just mean, like, I'm talking about the rest of the season. I'm just saying the rest of the season. Like I said, Texas going on the road to Florida was a tough place to go for them. Arch Manning once again didn't look good. Texas is going to lose 3 or 4 football games. Cody, remember when we talked about Penn State? We said Penn State was going to lose 3 or 4 football games, and we got called a bunch of morons. They can't even beat UCLA. So
Yeah.
I
was wrong on that one.
College football's tough now. It's tough. And
you know what I thought of the other day watching the games and watching the parity?
Miami's definitely a beatable team, though. We've seen it. Like, they're not.
Yeah.
They're not like a barn burner. Like, I would – my bad. I'd take Alabama as a more complete team than Miami right now.
I'm still in Oklahoma when mid-tier gets back.
If they can hold that together, I think Oklahoma is the best team in the country with Mateer quarterback.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. But I also think that Miami's very good. But like you said, it's a lot of the athletes. It's not necessarily Carson Beck making a lot of plays. It's they use their athletes very well.
Very well.
And he did throw one good deep ball to Malachi Tony. I'm not going to take that from him because he did throw one deep ball. But a lot of it's Malachi Tony catching the ball and running the ball, or it's Daniels just putting people in blenders and he's wide open. It's not. They're using their players the right way.
I want to say this too because I don't want Miami fans. Hold on, I don't want Miami fans to think that I'm being like I'm not hating them at all. They have played great football. They look phenomenal. Like I'm not being a hater. I'm just letting. These are my red flags. Again, as not a fan, I can see it a little bit differently. If you're a Miami fan, you should be talking all the smack, feeling very confident in how you guys are, and 100%. But this Miami team feels very similar to what Iowa State has looked like the first couple of weeks. And that's why I wasn't a believer in Iowa State going up against Cincinnati, because I saw there was reachable areas to overthrow them. In the same breath, that doesn't mean Miami can't just figure it out. Like, they're winning while going through these growing pains, and that's more important than anything. Just take Ohio State, for example. You can be kind of iffy-washy, but if you continue to win and build confidence, you overcome those things even more so. So, again, I want to kind of get this better. I love talking smack and trolling, but I want to make sure like I'm being genuine here when I'm saying these things. I'm not just thrashing Miami. And look, FSU, I can say these things about FSU because after week 1, I was a firm believer in FSU. I talked nothing but great things about them, and they've disappointed me. And they've completely have. Yeah, I mean, the way they have looked was exceptional, and the way they've looked the last 2 weeks. This is what I said at the beginning of the year. I thought Bama would have caught them off guard and kind of thrown them for a loop, but no, it just took 3 weeks, and now it's still happening. So there's a little bit of concern if I'm an FSU fan. Again, this isn't like Florida versus FSU. This is just simply addressing a game. I would be concerned. Before you go, Cody, I had a thought the other day when I was watching football, and I go, it feels, like you said, with the parity in it, it feels like March Madness now. And what I mean by that is March Madness, the reason why you have upsets is because you have to have a well-coached basketball team. But on any given game during March Madness, a game can be taken over by an individual player from someone doing well. But the teams but to win a March Madness, you've got to be coached well. You can't just have star-studded superpower, because we've seen plenty of teams like a Kentucky or a Duke team that has a bunch of studs on it that gets wally-whopped by just a well-ran, oiled machine that's been coached. Because the parity in basketball is you can get 5 studs, but how much better are they than a well-coached guys that maybe just got overlooked in high school? It's not, the separation isn't as much as you think. It's just bringing those 5 stars together and putting, great coaching. Football is getting into that, where it's like the parity isn't as much anymore because of NIL. It allows for all these teams to have that talent to be there, and now it's really going back to, hey, you gotta coach this well, you gotta manage this game well, because a good coach with good talent can go take down a Bama consistently now, not just like a random upset. And you wonder, you think, and you go back to those Bama teams and whatnot, and it's like, I'm not taking anything from Saban, but it's like, man, were they just really good football teams, right? Did Saban get in at the right time and was able to control a certain part of it? Was he really a good coach, or was he a good coach with just in a perfect ecosystem? Like, now I don't believe that you have to be a great coach on top of doing everything else right because of NIL. That was my thoughts on that. But go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, well, the best thing about Miami and what makes them really dangerous is they have something that does travel well. Usually the run game and the defense usually travels pretty well, regardless of where you're playing at. And they have both. They have very good trenches. They can just lean on you and run it to end the game. And then they do have a couple weapons that can take over a game, aka Malachi Tony.
Yeah.
No, was he that elite versus us? No, but just like that, if he gets hot and he gets rolling, watch out. It's a game changer.
Hard to stop. And look, defensively, I think Miami is very sound.
Oh, they're stout. I mean, up front, they're stout. I mean, those two ends, but Ruben Bain, I mean, like, he might be the first overall pick. Like, I mean, that's how good he played. Like, it's impressive.